Hello everyone, it is I, Ryan, also known as the Lovebat. Been a while since I've been in the saddle and with the sort of mic in hand, headphones on head, doing a video like this, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get into doing it once more, and hopefully I'm going to get back in the habit of doing YouTube videos, and this one will be with Magic the Gathering Arena today. And I figured, you know what, I'll go ahead and get back to doing like another draft video or two, and there's a new format. Dominaria United is past us and behind us now. I only did one draft of that before. I just kind of, I don't know, got out of the habit, got out of the sort of rhythm, feeling, the mood to go ahead and do YouTube videos, and then there was American football season that went on for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and see about doing a draft video today. The newest, or the most recent, I would say, format is the Brothers War. And so I have watched some of the drafts for that for some different YouTubers and stuff. Well, I've been kind of, again, out of sync as far as making YouTube videos and stuff. I have been keeping up a bit with Magic the Gathering Arena and Dungeons and Dragons and different stuff. And the OGL business of Dungeons and Dragons was certainly a kerfuffle. And so I'm glad that D&D players stood their ground with that on the other side of the Wizards of the Coast. But with this side of Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering Arena, I have been keeping up a bit with what's been going on with the recent format. I wasn't really aware of which sort of legacy draft would be in sort of the rotation here. But Neon Dynasty, I think that's the Kamigawa set, if I remember correctly. I might do this one because I didn't know that this was actually in the sort of rotation for the sort of legacy sets that sometimes I do. Yeah, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I really enjoyed this format, but I didn't get around to doing YouTube videos soon enough to really do much of any of them, I don't think. I think I first started doing draft videos on here when Baldur's Gate, the Baldur's Gate format was a thing in Alchemy. But I really enjoyed the Kamigawa set, and I have enough, again, gold and gems to be able to do probably 2 drafts. So I'll go ahead and do a sort of legacy draft here of the Kamigawa set because I didn't have a chance to do that on video for everyone back when the set was still new. And I really love the format and I love the theme of it. I enjoy like Japanese culture and different sorts of things of Japanese folklore and the theme of like ninjas, samurais, and various different sort of artifacts and enchantments that seem very Japanese sort of themed. So I would be very happy to go ahead and do this set, and I didn't really plan on it. I thought I was going to do Brothers War, but I didn't know which pack was or set was in rotation here for the Legacy set. So let's go ahead and do a premiere draft for the Kamigawa set and do it for the first time. This is going to be sort of this is more of an improv-based video, I suppose, but I do have some experience with this set. I did at least a couple of drafts of the Kamigawa set, and I enjoyed trying to make a Samurai Warrior deck in constructed play that I just played sort of off camera a lot last year. So we'll see how the Kamigawa set goes for us here. But yeah, there are some seats that are filling, so I don't know how long this is going to take, so I will go ahead and pause the recording and see how long it takes for the seats to fill up, and then I will be back with everyone to show off the Kamigawa and my knowledge and my sort of skill and my preferences. So I will be back in a moment. Alright, I am back, and that didn't take too long, maybe less than a minute. So let's go ahead and get going to the premiere draft for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty and get into this sort of legacy draft here. I'll go over the cards as best I can, but I want to go and try and do it pretty quick here. But yeah, there's Red White Samurais, and Asari Captain is a great card for the Samurai Warrior deck in Red White, so that's a pretty good one to start off with, first pick. Silver Fur Master would be excellent to go with the Ninja, which is sort of a ninjutsu mechanic to where if you attack with someone and they go unblocked, you can go ahead and ninjutsu with a ninjutsu cost to have the ninja come onto the battlefield for possibly a lesser cost. But it's also a way to attack with them and sort of give them semi-haste to get in and deal damage and get sort of damaging player type effects. Generous Visitor is excellent in enchantment deck, which I talked about a little bit before I paused the recording. There are lots of very good enchantments in this set. Michiko's Reign of Truth is also great for the enchantment deck. Mukatai Ambusher, great for the ninja deck. You can ninjutsu it on turn 2 potentially. But I'm going to go with the Asari Captain. I love the Samurai Warrior type deck. Moon Circuit Hack would also be great for the Ninja deck, so there are some great Ninja cards there. But I think I want to stick with the theme I find the most fun personally, which is the Samurai Warrior type deck. Alright, so someone's going to get a very good enchantment-based deck because Jukai Naturalist is also very good for the enchantment, green-white enchantment deck. But we are going to take another Asari Captain and be pretty happy about that, I would say. Getting two of these in the same deck in Constructed is very, very good as a Curve Topper type creature, and it's not legendary, so if you get multiple of these out in the late game, then you can basically tack in with a creature, and if you have some way to give it trample, I don't know if there's any way in red or white to give a creature trample, but if you do have trample or first strike or something like that, then that's going to be a very powerful ability. Aki Ronin is decent for the Samurai deck. You can sort of rummage for cards that you need. This can give you a Samurai as well if you sacrifice it. Though you don't want to play it out on turn 1 because you're not going to have mana to play out the card that you exile. What other cards in here? This is good for the Ninja deck. It's a Flying Ninja. Flying cards are very good for the Ninja deck. This can be a decent card, maybe more of a sideboard card in Best of 4 or Best of 3. Season of Renewal is great for the enchantment deck and it can go infinite for some enchantment cards like the Wart, the Sky Turtle, and green-blue enchantments. So yeah, we have Moth Rider Patrol, which is a very good card for the Warrior and Samurai deck. But Voltage Surge is removal, and there are some artifacts in red-white with the Samurais. This is a great card to curve out with if you can go, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 Samurai. This is a 1-drop Samurai Warrior, but this is removal, and that's very good in this format. Sometimes there are cards, if you cannot sacrifice like an artifact or a treasure token or something like that, then Voltage Surge isn't quite as good, but it is 1 mana removal that can deal with things like, say, ninjas out there with 2 toughness. Goshen Tai, this is like a shrine sort of theme. They are enchantments that are legendary. That's another theme in this set with the enchantments, is that you have some pretty good shrine cards that can get even better effects based on how many shrines you have on the field. But yeah, I'm going to go with Voltage Surge and the removal here, just to go ahead and get that going so we have at least some. Okay, so we have some halfway decent cards here. We have a Red Samurai here. Modified basically means that if you have an equipment, an aura, enchantment, or like a +1/+1 counter, that counts as modified. We could get some equipments potentially. There are some in the set, and Ancestral Katana is one of them. This is also just in general a 1/3 Samurai Warrior card that you can use to curve out. Seven Tail Mentor is alright, but not great. It should probably cost 1 mana less, but that's the way it goes sometimes with the commons. Some are better than others. Befriending the Moths, not too shabby, but it is a bit of a high curve there for that. I think I'm going to just take the Upriser Renegade. It's a 1/3 Samurai, curves out a little bit better than the other Samurais in this pack. Scrapyard Steelbreaker is better for the artifact heavy decks that are in like red-blue or red-black, I would assume. Alright, so there are some Samurais in green, but there aren't any like awesome Samurais to splash for in green. There is a red, white, black Samurai that's legendary that's very, very good. I forget his name, Ishin or something like that. So if we could splash for black, that would be pretty good, but I don't think that we're going to be splashing for green. Ironhoof Boar is an artifact, and this doesn't give modification for this, for example, but it is a combat trick. It is a curve topper, so I think I can just go with that. It's going to be good in even a red, sort of red-black artifact deck. They would also be pretty good, and Channel cannot be countered for like counter spells and stuff, so that's another mechanic that was introduced in Kamigawa, was the Channel abilities there. It's a way to go ahead and discard a card, and it's not technically casting a spell, so it can't be countered by counter spells. Alright, so Ember Keeper is a warrior, and this is another modification type synergy like what we have with the Upriser Renegade. So, and it is a warrior, so it does go with the Asari captains and such, so we could potentially use this in our deck. It only gives you a 1/1, but it is an aggro type card. We could go ahead and also just get this so we could splash potentially for the Ishin that I talked about, and that's not actually a bad idea. We are more committed to red than white right now, but our best cards are in red-white. Leech Gauntlet would be great as like a artifact red-black artifact deck synergy, but... Alright, so let's see. Azusa's Many Journeys is great for the green-white enchantment deck that someone probably has going by now, and I assume that someone must have it going. It's behind me in the draft order here. I'm going to take Flame Discharge, though, because this is very good removal. It can deal with bigger things. And it's another modification synergy, too. So we have several... Or, well, we could get more modification synergies in the future, like the 2-1 Warrior that we just passed that can give you a token creature. But yeah, we have some modification sort of payoffs here that we can get. Unstoppable Ogre is another warrior that can go on curve of 3 mana as well. Alright, so Imperial Subduer is great for an aggression type plan. This is another Samurai Warrior type card. And you can go ahead and tap down creatures. So you can tap down... You can either use this strategically to tap down their best blockers so you can get in for damage and they just choose not to block. Or you can block, or you can tap down their weakest creature and force them to trade with their strongest creature that they have that can block, or something like that. So it's very good to just get in there and get in for some aggression. Some more red-green dual lands here, but I'm going to prioritize black mana for splashing since there are some samurais that we could splash. This is a samurai, but it's in green, and I don't have the green dual lands to... It's not really a splashable card either, because you want to get out on curves, so that's not going to be viable for us. And this is good for the ninja deck. I mean, the ninja deck is probably open if this is wheeling like this. But I think we're just going to go with the Ironhoof Boar. That's just the safest pick, and it's in our main color right now, or one of our main colors. So, and it can still go in the other artifact type decks as well. Alright, Aki Ronin wheeling is a very good sign for us. This is a solid 2-drop samurai that can also block decently well if you, since you can't attack with it on turn 2, you can block with it turn 2, and then turn 3 you can attack with it potentially. Aki Warpaint is... It's okay for all-out aggression, but this is maybe more of a constructed type card for all-out mono-red type aggression. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Aki Ronin there, which is solid for our deck. Bloodfell Caves is a good on the wheel here. It allows us to splash for black if we end up with Ishin, that red, white, black samurai. They can get us more samurai sort of attack in with 1 synergies, and Ishin allows those abilities to trigger twice instead of once, so it's a card that we hope to get in the next 2 packs here. Alright, so Steelbreaker is a filler, sort of okay, not great samurai card. Simian Sling kind of wants to be in the same deck as a Steelbreaker, but it's not a samurai or a warrior, but it does modify, so reconfiguring is similar to equipping, where it can modify something. I'm probably not going to play the Kami of Industry, it's not really for this kind of deck. Kami of Industry is more for a dedicated sort of equipment artifact deck. Alright, so we have some good options here. Someone's getting, again, a very, very good enchantment-based deck. This is an awesome card, but it's not for our deck. It does modify, but I don't think we can really pivot into green. We don't really have ways to splash for green right now. If we had chosen any of the green dual lands before, that would have been very good. How many enchantments do we have right now? We have none, but we could get some more. There are plenty in the format. Touch the Spirit Realm is an enchantment too that would want to go in the same deck as the Skyblessed Samurai, green-white enchantments, or even just red-white warrior samurais, and this is good removal. You can also channel it as well, but I think I just like taking the synergy-based card that is a samurai. We can find some enchantments in here. There are some enchantments in white as well as red, and I guess we technically do... I thought we had enchantment somewhere, but I guess we passed up on it. I think it was like that Aura card that I talked about being in mono red aggro type things. Okay, so let's just do again. Create some tokens if you channel it. Okay, so that's more of a... That's a very specialized land. I mean, it's free for the deck, but I don't think I really need that. Dragonspark Reactor is great for the red-black or red-blue artifact type decks. You just get a bunch of artifacts out, and you can just go ahead and deal a bunch of damage to the biggest threat, or you can deal it to the face of your opponent as well. Yep. So yeah, that's very good. Air of Enlightenment's also very good. This would be free for the deck, but the token channel synergy, like, there's not much that we're going to be doing there. If you had like a discard card type theme with channel abilities, then that would be a better card. But Air of Enlightenment's just a solid enchantment. And it's also good for the Sky Blessed Samurai as well. It makes it cheaper. So, oh, this is a very awesome card. Oh, we have another awesome card and another awesome card. Okay, so we have a decision to make here. We have lots of awesome cards in this pack. This is an awesome dragon. It's one of the legendary dragons in the set. This is another theme. There are 5, sort of, as far as I know, 5 mythic rare legendary dragons, one in each color. And so this is one of them. It would be very, very powerful. But we have to go with synergy here, which is the Samurai Warrior theme. And this is excellent on curve. Makes our Sky Blessed Samurai cheaper because it is an enchantment creature. So is the Sunblade Samurai. This is an awesome card too. And if this wheels, I will be very happy. Only Cult Anvil is awesome for the red-black sort of artifact deck. And then Spinning Wheel Kick is great removal in green, but it's kind of expensive. So... But yeah, that was an awesome pack. It sucks that we can't really take the dragon because curving out with Samurai Warriors is more important for this deck. Imperial Oath is a very good card here. It's sort of a curve topper type card. If you have ways to ramp into it, that's also good, but it's just an awesome card. Spirited Companion would also be good for this deck. Just, cycles, draws a card, makes the Sky Blessed Samurai cheaper. And you could potentially, I don't know, there's not really any sacrifice synergies in red-white, but in black-white there are, and especially red-black. But yeah, I think Imperial Oath, just creating some samurais, scrying to make sure you hit your cards that you want to. This is just a good curve topper, and having at least one of them in your deck, in any white deck, is going to be good for us, I think. Let's see, this is more of like a sideboard card. Or this is for a very particular type card. If you're heavy on enchantments and you have maybe a couple artifacts, like the some red artifacts, then maybe you can make use of this, but it's too specialized. Same thing with the Mirror Box. This is more of a sort of constructed type card. This is a decent but not great sort of vehicle type card. Terrarium can splash. Befriending the Moss is good, but I think that Terrarium can at least allow us to splash, so in case we need black mana or something like that for any reason, we can do that. So this can modify because you can reconfigure it to something and give something trample, which would be very, very good for the Asari captains and just doing a bunch of trample damage with sort of a cheap samurai creature. Very tempted to take that, but Moth Rider Patrol is very good on curve for us, and in a Samurai Warrior deck, you really want to curve out, and if you, this is like the only, as far as I know, the only 1-drop warrior that you can get in red and white, at least as far as my memory goes in this set. So this is the better card. This is the better synergy in curving out, especially with the exemplars. You can attack turn 2 with this and make it a 2/2 flying creature to get in for 2 damage. Master's Rebuke is good removal in green. This is awesome. The Greater Tanuki is awesome for the green enchantment-based decks, like green-white in particular. It can also splash you or fix you for mana. Unstoppable Ogre is a warrior, and it's a solid, turn 3. You can prevent a creature from blocking, and then you can attack in with like an Exemplar or some other 2-drop samurai to make it easier to get in there. So, and it is an artifact for the sort of artifact-based decks as well. I think we're going to go with Golden Tail Disciple is decent. This is more of a defensive creature and more for the enchantment-based decks. It does make the Sky Blessed Samurai cheaper, which we kind of do want, but this is also decent too, and it's on curve, and it is a warrior. So I would love to take this to make the Sky Blessed Samurai cheaper and get the enchantment count a bit higher, but I just kind of want to go for the synergy as much as I can, and if nothing else, this is still a good curve topper that flies and can fly over the top and get in there for the win. Ancestral Katana is okay for this deck, and it makes it a lot cheaper to have a samurai or warrior that attacks in there than you attach it for a cheap cost. So this is not too bad for us. Gift of Wrath, not really for this kind of deck. There are a lot of artifacts in this format, but this is not best of 3, so that's more of a sideboard card if you're dealing with like an artifact-heavy deck with a low curve. I think I'll just take the Synthesizer, and since it does make you a Samurai Warrior, I probably don't want to play it. Alright, so this is another 3-drop Warrior that gets our curve a little bit better here. Onicult Anvil Wheeling is a very big sign for the artifact deck that we could have gone into. Kind of feeling kind of bad about that, but you know, you can't win them all. All I know is that Onicult Anvil Wheeling is a sign that's good for somebody else. So this is another modification synergy, but I probably am not going to play it. Undercity Scrounger there is good for the artifact sort of heavy decks. I guess Aki Warpaint does technically make... Oh, what happened there? Yeah, so it does... Oh, come on. I might actually want to play Aki Warpaint. It makes the Skyblessed Samurai cheaper. Okay, well... That did not work out the way I wanted it to. The card disappeared on us, and then I couldn't select it. That's thanks, Magic the Gathering Arena. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, pal. Okay, well, this card is going to be, well, we have Banishing Slash as removal, and you can make a Samurai out of it, so I think I'll take that one. Then we have Voltage Surge, more good removal. Kodama of the West Tree is excellent for green. And it's another modification synergy, so if you have sort of equipments, enchantments that are attached to creatures and things like that, so, or +1/+1 counters, green usually has a lot of those. It can be good in that deck. We have another Shrine here, the black one, which can, needless to say, you can get some good removal out of this if you have a Shrine synergy going on there with even 1 or 2 of them. Season of Renewal, good for the green enchantment decks. Alright, so... Another Skyblessed Samurai here. If we get the Spirited Companion on the wheel, I probably just take this on the wheel to make my Skyblessed Samurais cheaper. We have another Samurai there. This is a sort of, I don't know, more of a sideboard card if you're playing against a removal heavy deck and you want to protect some of your awesome creatures. This is very good in the red-blue sort of artifact type deck, since this kind of makes your creatures cheaper for the most part, and then you have some other very good artifacts that can get out on a better curve. But this is very good for that deck, and it can fly over the top. Uncharted Haven is good fixing. So yeah, we'll just go with the Skyblessed Samurai and never look back. Getting a quick drink of water while I sort of bask over the other exemplar that I'm getting here for my Samurai Warrior deck, where this is one of the, in my opinion, the exemplar is one of the most important cards to the deck, because just getting a 2-drop Samurai out there and making all the other ones that attack in get a boost for free, that is very, very good, especially if you have multiple of these out there on the field. So it's like if you attack on turn 3 with one of these and you play out another exemplar on turn 3, and then you have this one that came out on turn 2, you attack on turn 3, it turns into a 4/3 attacker on turn 3, so, and it doesn't even have haste, so that's a very, very good synergy to have. Thirst for Knowledge is good card draw in blue, so someone's getting some good blue stuff, but blue usually tends to not be played as often in Constructed, and this is a format where it's not, unless you're playing like an artifact heavy deck, that's usually the same thing. I think we're going to take Bronze Plate Boar here. Peerless Samurai is very good for the Samurai Warrior deck, at least for these synergies, and it has Menace, but if we can do this and give a creature trample and then attack in with a Sorry Captain and Exemplars boosting a creature that has trample, then that can be very powerful to have around. So we're going to take the Bronze Plate Boar this time and get some modification going as well. Let's see, and I think I forgot to mention it before, but Twisted Embrace is some good removal in the set. It's one of the better removal spells that you can get, so this is some good removal in black. It also modifies and gives a creature +1/+1. So it's like a multifaceted card rolled into one. I think we'll just take Uncharted Haven in case we're lucky and we end up finding the Ishin that would probably wheel around from some of the other packs if it's still there. It's not an often selected card. We have another Shrine here. Courtyard would be good since we do have a good number of sort of warriors and samurais going on, but I feel okay with just taking what I take there with everything that we have going on here. So another bronze plate boar. I will just be happy to take that. We have another Peerless Samurai. Do we have enough Samurais and Warriors going right now? Yep, we have 9 Samurais, 5 Warriors, and we have ways to possibly make some more with some of these other things like the Imperial Oath and then the Synthesizer there. So we have a very good count. Let's just take another bronze plate boar and get some more modification synergies possibly going in. Oh. Well, I'm going to happily take that. This is, again, whenever you see an exemplar in the Samurai Warrior deck, you have to have basically a better Samurai Warrior type card to not take this. It's too good on your curve and with what it does to not take it. So, gonna go ahead and take that. Some good green cards here. Fanga Shigeki is a good sort of defensive creature to hold back the enemy, but yeah, more exemplars is always going to be good. Voltage Surge, alright. Repel the Vile would be excellent in best of 3 on the sideboard. But Voltage Surge is good spot removal that can take out things on curve and clear the way for your Samurais and Warriors to attack in. So, and we do have some artifacts to sacrifice to it should we want to play any of them. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Nothing here that's really worth writing home about. All these are more situational. This is good on enchantment creatures, and we do have some of them. So I guess we can consider this perhaps. Careful Cultivation is good for ramp and green. And then this is another good enchantment sort of card in the green-white enchantment decks. Alright, so Aki Ronin or Seven Tail Mentor. I'm not sure if either of them makes the deck. But we don't have many 4-drops. So I guess this has maybe been better consideration than a second Aki Ronin. I guess Ambitious Assault could be considered. We'll just keep trying to select it and the game doesn't let me. I'm clicking, but it's not working. Alright, so we have another Peerless Samurai here. End up getting one of these on the wheel after all. Ancestral Katana on the wheel is also kind of nice, but we're not playing 2, I bet. Alright, so we have all these Samurais and Warriors that we could hope for in this deck. We're going to have to make a good amount of cuts here. Okay, let me go ahead and have a moment here to kind of get the vibe of the deck going here and see what we might cut here while I kind of take care of my nose. So just give me one moment here. Okay, hope everyone can hear me. So what do we do? What do we do here? Okay, so thinking things over, just trying to get a read for the deck and what do we want to keep and what do we want to toss. Let's get rid of one Katana. I think that just playing one is going to be enough here. It does modify, which does give us some synergy with, what was it, the Ember Keeper here, and then there was some other card, I forget which, that Flame Discharge has the modified synergy as well. I think Steelbreaker's not good enough in here. It's more of a filler playable card, but it's not great as a curve topper. Sorry Captain is much better on the curve topper side. As well as the Sky Blessed Samurai, which we do have enough enchantments, I think, to take advantage of it now. How many? Alright, so we have a decent amount here. And then the Ember Keeper is also an enchantment creature, as well as the Exemplars, so that's a pretty good, those are some pretty good gets for us. Kind of forgot this is an enchantment that makes the Sky Blessed Samurai cheaper over here. And so we have 2 of those. I think we'll get rid of one Iron Hoof Boar. I don't think that we need 2 of them. Having one is like a combat trick that can also be a curve topper and get in there for some aggression. Can be good. It's not going to benefit from all these Samurais and Warriors, but this can buff a Samurai or Warrior and give it trample. So it's another way to give our creatures trample. Let's see, Ambitious Assault. It does have a modification synergy, but this requires you to want to attack in with a lot of creatures instead of samurais and warriors usually only want to attack in with one buffed up sort of creature, so Ambitious Assault's not really what's going for the deck here. Seventh Elementor does modify, but we have other ways to modify that are better, so we don't have any 4-drops, so we can make the Sky Blessed Samurais cheaper as a way to maybe get out a 4-drop or a 5-drop with this card. Air of Enlightenment's good, and it also makes the Sky Blessed Samurais cheaper, and it makes a creature itself. It doesn't make a samurai or a warrior, but a 2/2 first striker is still pretty good defensively to hold back their aggression from the opponent. As well as just scrying too is always going to be good if we just scry for the cards that we need. Similar to Imperial Oath, then we can just draw the cards that we want and make sure that we also don't flood out, because you want to keep the aggression going in a samurai warrior deck. Terrarium maybe is not necessary, and speaking of which, I don't think that we're going to need the Black Splash. We didn't end up with an Asian in our deck, so not really going to be necessary to have the black mana there. Yeah, Terrarium can modify. It's also an artifact that you can put out there and sacrifice for like a Voltage Surge, but I think that like Simian Sling or the Sensitizer are going to be better for the Voltage Surge. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We already have enough. We have plenty of mana for our colors. We have no real double red or double white except for Banishing Slash. And that's removal, and you don't have to play that right away, so. So for colors, we have 16 lands is probably better than 17 for this deck. Sky Blessed Samurai can get cheaper, and Ironhoof Boar can channel that for 2 mana, so this is more like a 2 mana there. And then Sky Blessed Samurai, you can make that cheaper, so I don't think that we need 17 lands. I think we can go with 1 less. And we have 1-drops in both colors that we'd want to play. This probably not so much. Mothrider Patrol on turn 1, we would definitely want to be able to get that out right away, so I don't think we would want to have less white mana, and we need double white for the Banishing Slash. So I think 9 white, 8 red is probably a good split. We do have more red than white, but for the curve we need white faster. We need double white for this. What else? Simian Sling. We don't necessarily need it. It can modify. Get us some extra value out of the Flame Discharge and the Ember Keeper and Renegade. I do want to keep all of my enchantments around, so that means Ember Keeper wants to stick around. This can modify. This can modify twice there. How many ways do we have to modify? I just want to have a count on that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 ways to modify, but 2 of them are semi sort of equipment type things that can move around. Yeah, for each other modified creature you control, that means you have to modify other creatures instead of this one. So you have to modify other creatures with things that buff them up, and then this thing is buffed up for that. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get that going on curve because you have to take time to be able to modify creatures, and so you have to wait until turn 4 or turn 5 really to get value out of this. Yeah, I think I might have to get rid of the Renegade. It's not going to be as good for a curve, and you're not going to be able to attack in with it as well. Ember Keeper at least allows you to, or not Ember Keeper, the Aki Ronin allows you to get in there and at least draw a card and get rid of lands if you're flooding out and things like that. So I want to keep the Aki Ronin around. What's the creature count looking like? Alright, so we have plenty of creatures. We can maybe cut another couple of creatures. The boars are creatures that can get other values, so I'm happy to keep them in there, even though they're not samurais and warriors. Maybe one of these 3 drops here I can get rid of. I guess Unstoppable Ogre, maybe least likely to make an impact, so let's get rid of at least one of them. Maybe the Synthesizer isn't as good here because this is better in an artifact type deck. You can sacrifice it to the Voltage Surge, and we have 2 of them. But you never want to play this out on turn 1 because the card that you exile, if you can't play it, then you just lose it, and you don't want to lose one of your better cards that way. Ideally, you'd want to play this out on turn 3 or turn 4, and then play something that's low curve, like a 2-drop or a 3-drop. Yeah, I guess I'm going to get rid of that, and if I need to sacrifice an artifact, we have the Simian Sling, we have the Ironhoof Boar if we play it as a creature, we have the Bronze Plate Boars if we play those as creatures. And we have the Katana that we could technically sacrifice as well. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts to sacrifice. Alright, that's not bad, actually. Not bad. And I guess technically this is an artifact too. If I want to just get rid of this, I could possibly use it as like a chump blocker to prevent some damage, and then sacrifice it to the Voltage Surge and take out a different creature. I mean, granted, this has 4 power already and it could kill a creature, but all depends on what the opponent is attacking with, maybe. I don't know. Final cut. Maybe a Peerless Samurai. It does allow you to ramp into something, but you would have to attack first. Like, basically what you would have to do is you have to attack first with this, and then after combat ends, then you play something that you get ramped into. So you couldn't really, like, if you wanted to ramp into an Asari Captain, you'd have to make your attacks first, basically, and then play this after combat. So couldn't really ramp into this on turn 4 quite easily without trying to get the benefit of it on the same turn from attacking in. I could keep this around since, again, it is an artifact. You can sacrifice one to a Voltage Surge. It's also a way to... it's a way of dealing with an opponent's removal. So say the opponent has a removal spell and they want to get rid of the Ogre for some reason. You can sacrifice something to a Voltage Surge and then get some value out of it by killing one of their bigger creatures and making the best of creatures that get removed off the field. So yeah, using the Voltage Surge in reaction to an opponent's removal and then sacrificing a creature or an artifact creature that the opponent's trying to kill, you can basically do that in response to removal. Yeah, I think a Peerless Samurai 1 in the deck is pretty good. We have other 3 drops. We have an Imperial Subduer, a Peerless Samurai, Unstoppable Ogre. That's a pretty good curve for 3 drops. And then we have Bronze Plate Boars that we can get out here and do some stuff with too if we need to. Okay, so we have a good creature count. Lots of Samurais and Warriors still. 13 is a pretty good count. And we have a pretty good curve here. We have 3 Exemplars, which are very important for the deck. And let's do red, white. Red, white, Samurai Surge draft. doing Surge because we have some Voltage Surges, and so, I don't know, some poor play on words perhaps, but let's see if this fits within the text limit. It does not. No, we have to fit it shorter. Red, White, Samurai, Aggro, then. We'll just go for a more plain text sort of version of the deck name. Aggro Draft. Or we can just do number 1, I suppose. In case we do another draft video in the future with Kamigawa and we do another deck sort of similar to this one, then we can go ahead and name the other one number 2. No Austin Powers reference needed there. Alright, so we got our deck here, and we'll just double check to make sure I have the 40 cards. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to it then, and let's let this Samurai Warrior sort of shenanigans begin. The opponents always show up while I'm getting a quick drink of water, and I have to rush to press the unpause recording button in OBS Studio. Okay, now we're probably going to have to mulligan this because we really need our red mana here. Yeah, I think that we're going to have to mulligan this. We really need red mana here. It's great to have an Exemplar in your opening hand, but when you don't have lands to curve out, it's not going to be good. Alright, so this is better. I think I will keep this. We're a long ways away from the Sky Blessed Samurai, but I want to keep it. But we do have another one in the deck, so let's at least, we can rummage for the other Samurais and Warriors, I think, so. I don't want to give the opponent any indication that I have removal, so I didn't want to play my red mana out first. Just going to play this out, and we might, maybe we'll see if we can rummage next turn. If we draw a land, we can rummage first, maybe, if we're playing a land. Alright, so green-blue. If I remember green-blue, I mean, there's a good amount of enchantments in blue, so it could be an enchantment-type deck. There's also lots of drawing card. There's lots of ways to draw cards in blue. Lots of ways to modify, I think, in both blue and green, if I remember correctly. So it could be modification synergies. Yeah, so it could be modification or ninjutsu in green. Green-blue also has a good amount of ninjas in it, so it could be like a ninja modification. I don't quite remember exactly what they'd be going for in green-blue. So yeah, let's attack first, and let's discard a land, maybe, since we already have all the mana that we need for now. And let's rummage with our Aki Ronin here. Alright, Simian Sling, not bad. So do we want to play the Simian Sling since we can reconfigure this? If it comes block. Yeah, I think we want to play this and then reconfigure it, I think. And it's a cheap artifact that we can potentially sacrifice with Voltage Surge as well, so. They're going to rummage themselves and get rid of the lands. Not a bad choice if they already have 3 or 4 lands to work with, so. Okay, so we can't reconfigure this until we need to draw 1 more land. We could rummage. Yeah, we could rummage since, I mean, we do want the land if we want to reconfigure this. Let's just attack and see if they maybe try and kill the Aki Ronin here. We're going to decline. I think that we can use the land to equip the bronze plate boar at some point, so we'll just keep that around. So yeah, they might kill the Aki Ronin here. I don't know exactly what they're waiting for. They might counter it. Yep. If they want to counter that, that's fine. I'd much rather them counter that than counter one of my removal spells, so... Another one of the channel abilities that work there, so... So that can block our creature. So yeah, it definitely looks like it's sort of a green, blue sort of enchantment-based deck. And do I want to sacrifice the Simian Sling? I think I do. Let's get rid of the Geothermal Kami here and make the best uses of our mana here. And sacrifice the Simian Sling. Okay, so now might be a good time to kill the Vector Glider, then rummage and discard the Mountain. I mean, granted, we can attack in with this and rummage anyway, so maybe we just rummage first and then see if we want to kill the Vector Glider there. Well, that was not a good rummage. Okay, so we're not going to use a removal on it. We're going to wait for a bigger threat to come out in the field. So we're going to save the Flame Discharge. We could have gotten more value out of this if we had the Aki Ronin modified still, but I just wanted to make the best use of the Voltage Surge there. Don't mind if they want to do that and attack in with it. I still want to save the Flame Discharge for a potentially bigger threat. Now I will... does this give Vigilance or something? Oh, it does. Okay. Well, that's not good. Let's see if they want to block here, because I do need to rummage anyway. Let's see what we draw here. Okay. I think we're going to do the discharge now since their mana is tapped out. So we can do X4, I believe. And we can kill that before they add another +1/+1 counter to it. So probably the best thing to do here, and we keep at least... We keep our Samurai alive, and we can get another one out next turn to attack in with the Aki Ronin. Okay, well, we don't have ways to modify now, but that's okay. They do have mana open for a counter spell, so let's see if they want to counter this thing first. Okay, so they're holding priority, so they can do something here. I don't want to discard this, so let's at least play it and see if they are going to use like a counter spell on it. Okay, they don't. It looked like they were holding priority there, so I don't know if they have like a counter spell or a removal spell in hand. Even if they kill the Exemplar now, I still get the buff to our attacking creature there, so... If we draw a land next turn, I can rummage again. Try and find something that's better, like a Sky Blessed Samurai we could play since we have the Ember Keeper out, and the Exemplar. This, on the other hand, is going to be a bit of a problem. I could have saved the Flame Discharge for that, but I really wanted to be able to attack in with the Samurais and stuff that I have. Vigilance and Haste. Okay. I do not want to block it. I'd rather attack into it, if anything. I have to draw something good here. Alright, I have to draw into something really good here. They have... Okay, so that's about as good of as what we could have drawn there. Yeah, that's probably the best creature that we could have drawn. We can't really attack into them, so I'm going to have to just play this out and hope for the best. It does allow me to hold them back a little bit. I can chump block with the Aki Ronin and hope to draw good cards. Don't really need the Ember Keeper anymore now that I have a Skyblood Samurai out. This has Trample. So I'm going to block there, and then I'm going to block there. I could triple block to kill the Tanuki. But I think I'm going to have to try and race them here with the Skyblood Samurai to win. Whew. Okay, so none of these guys has reach. Alright, so it's time to race them and see if they can get past us. If they have removal, then we're pretty much toast, but that was going to be the case anyway, so... And they obviously don't have a counterspell, or they would have obviously countered that, so... We might have removal here. Was this phasing things in and out? Okay, yeah, so they win. Good game. They win. If they didn't have that, we might have been able to win by going over the top of the Skyblood Samurai and attacking for like, what, 8 damage, I think? Yeah, I would have gotten +1/+1, then +3/+0. So yeah, it would have been an 8 power flying creature that could have killed them in 2 turns. So yeah, we came pretty close. They had exactly what they needed to win that one and phase our creatures out and get in for the win, so... It's what happens when you go up against the blue-based control decks and you don't really curve out the way that you want to, then they get the time to draw into their good stuff. Like what happened there, we weren't really able to... We had the Aki Ronin and that was about it when we mulled our hand, so... Looks like the opponent showed up quickly enough for our next match that we don't need to pause the recording, so... We're going to get straight into it then. Started off 0-1, but... Hoping to go 1-1 with this starting hand, which is looking excellent. We could go like turn 2 Ronin into turn 3 Exemplar, attack in with the Ronin +1/+1. And then we can rummage, and if they want to block this and trade off of it, I'm better with them trading off of this than for my Exemplar, so... Then turn 4, Peerless Samurai, turn 5, Asari Captain, I'll take that. Alright, let's show them red and see if we can get them scared in their boots. Oh, red aggro deck. I don't know. Okay, so they show white. Let's just keep... Yeah, let's just put out red for now. We'll play the Aki Ronin, attack with it next turn if we draw a land. I mean, if we draw a land, we'd probably keep it. We could ditch the Unstoppable Ogre and discard that to the Aki Ronin. Try and find a better card than it. Selfless Samurai. I'd love to have this for the deck. It's too bad we didn't get it. This is a very awesome Samurai card. So yeah, it's basically a protection creature as well as lifelink built into one, so that would have been an awesome card to get for the deck, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Yeah, that's not going to be able to ramp us into anything this turn, so let's just go ahead and get out the Exemplar. Attack with the Ronin. We'll ditch the Unstoppable Ogre here to draw something else, hopefully. Alright, that's a good draw. Another enchantment samurai or warrior here can make it a bit cheaper and easier to get out, so hopefully that we get some of that. I would have assumed that they would attack in with a Selfless Samurai, but I mean, I guess maybe they didn't want to risk me trading for it, I guess. So we get out the Peerless Samurai now, and the next turn we can ramp into an Asari Captain if we don't draw a land. I think I like that. Let's go ahead and attack in with the Aki Ronin and get some more damage in. We're not going to rummage this time. I think that we like what we have in our hand right now, so... Decline. Yeah, I like the creature options that we have in there. We can ramp into all of these cards next turn, depending on what we draw. Don't mind them deciding to block there, that's not a bad thing. Still keep our Aki Ronin, so... Yeah, and sometimes even I forget it, if a crew ability is low enough, you can sort of crew this on defense and then block with it. Exile the card from graveyard and we play that card this turn. Alright, so this is good with like discard type effects. So they could have like the Modern Age in their hand or their deck. And then Lion Sash. Good way to deal with graveyards and just make it bigger and bigger. So hopefully we can get some removal for that. If they want to double block, I think I'm okay with that because they have lots of creatures here. Do I want to play a Subduer and then tap down like the Conduit and then or the Construct here and then force them to double block with those two? I think I'd rather just ramp into an Asari Captain at this point. So, and if they want to double block, then I'm okay with that. They could also just crew their recovery unit again and double block that way, but even if they do that, they still lose a creature, so... So if they want to crew the unit, they can block with it and no damage is done, and they can double block and then try and kill it. But no matter how they double block, they will lose one of their creatures. So this is a matter of do they want to kill the Aki Ronin or not. Okay. We're going to kill the Containment Construct and just get rid of that. I'm quite okay with that trade. Then we'll play out an Asari Captain here as it's gotten cheaper. Next turn we could play a Subduer and then try and make it more difficult for them to crew their recovery unit. Yes, this is another way to modify as well. So Lion Sash is good in that sort of deck. Another scrying and drawing cards type deck in blue-white. Yeah, Lion Sash is going to be tough to beat if we don't draw some removal, like the Flame Discharge. Voltage Surge isn't going to be good enough to deal with it now. Or Ironhoof Boar. We could do a combat trick and kill it. And this thing has Menace, so they would have to double block it. That's actually not a bad idea. The Peerless Samurai having Menace means that they would be forced to double block it. And then we can Ironhoof Boar to make it even bigger and harder to deal with, so... Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and do that. We'll attack in with the Peerless Samurai, use the Ironhoof Boar channel ability to make it bigger and give it trample. And then we can make the Imperial Subduer cheaper. We can play that after combat. So yeah, they can crew the recovery unit and double block with it, but we are going to kill it should they do that. So if they don't block here, then I'm not going to use the Ironhoof Boar. I'm just going to get the Asari Captain out number 2. Alright, so it looks like they are going to try and double block here. Because they have to. Alright, so it looks like we're going to go for a 2-for-1. Well, I guess they're not even going to kill it if we do this. Let's go ahead and give this thing +3/+1, and our creature survives and theirs doesn't. Or theirs don't. Plural. Words are hard, guys, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that there's nothing they can do here. I mean, I guess they can give something indestructible, but they lose the Swiftwater Samurai. I'm okay with that too. We still kill both of those things. Or we still kill the Puzzle Maker. And now we get the Subduer out since it's cheaper. So yeah, that situation went about as well as it probably could have gone for us. The Lion Sash is still a big problem, but it's only one creature at the end of the day, and they're eventually going to have to block with it. If they don't get another creature out, then we can just attack in with the Peerless Samurai again. And they aren't going to be able to block it. Yeah, this is the kind of curve out that I'm talking about. You just get all in aggression, attacking with a single creature, pump it up, make it hard to deal with. Have the occasional combat trick to pump up one of your creatures and just get through their defenses. So what are they going to do? I mean, they have a lot of mana out. They have something in their hand. They have to have something to play out here. The Lion Sash is also pretty strong. It can get bigger still. I don't know why they're doing that, but they can attack him with it if they really want to. Target creature or vehicle card. Okay, that makes sense. I don't think that we want to block here. I think we just want to attack in next turn and get all the pumping effects going. Peerless Samurai does have menace, so they're going to have to play out two creatures to be able to block it. Okay, there's one. Do they have another creature? To be honest, they would actually need three creatures because Subduer can tap down one of them. So, Selfless Samurai is not going to be able to do much blocking-wise because the Subduer would tap stuff down. So, now if I wanted, I could attack in with the Asari Captain instead. And then just tap down the Selfless Samurai and hope they don't have like a return target creature to its owner's hand type effect here. I think that's probably the play. Let's just get in there, go all out aggression. They don't have enough mana for the channel, the 3 mana counterspell. Disdainful Stroke I think is in this set, and that would counter an Asari Captain that's like, I think it's like 4 mana cost or higher type cards that can counter. So that would counter one of those creatures. I could attack in with everything, but I don't think that that would be wise. So let's just attack in with one. Target a creature I don't control. Let's tap that down so it can't do anything. Probably isn't going to be relevant, but you never know. Do they have a way to deal with it? It would have to be like a return target creature to its owner's hand type combat trick or something like that. I don't know if there's any white removal that could deal with it. Okay, so they phase it out. Alright, so they use a combat trick there. This isn't a warrior or samurai, so Selfless Samurai doesn't give them lifelink to get some more life. Trash bots. I mean, we can still tap down creatures and get a menacing Peerless Samurai attacker, so if they attack here, it'd be kind of difficult for them to deal with. So what do we want to do? Do we want to attack in with a Peerless Samurai? I mean, to be honest, we can just play the Sky Blessed Samurai and then the Asari Captains to pump up the power of a Peerless Samurai even more to kill everything in his path. And we could tap down the Trash Bot Or we could tap down the recovery unit as well, so they can't crew it. It's actually not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and play this out and hard cast it, see if they have like any interaction or counterspell here. Disdainful Stroke could counter that as well. But I'd rather get it out into the field. And let's attack in with the Menace. I guess it can't tap the recovery in it because it's not a creature right now, it's a vehicle. You know what, let's just go ahead and tap the... Well, the Selfless Samurai can sacrifice itself, though. So let's go ahead and tap the Trash Bot. If they want to block with the Lion Sash, I would be happy to go ahead and kill their creature, so... So they can double block, and then they can maybe Selfless Samurai to save their recovery units or their Lion Sash or something. But I'd rather go ahead and get rid of their stuff right now. Then I can attack in with the Skyblessed Samurai next turn. I guess it doesn't really matter how the damage is arranged. They're going to sacrifice the Selfless Samurai for the Lion Sash. I'd rather at least force them to sacrifice their Selfless Samurai for that, since the Lion Sash is worth saving there. Probably going to lose my Peerless Samurai either way, but it's just trading off of their creatures that I wanted to do there. And then if they can't deal with the Skyblessed Samurai, they're probably just dead here, because I can just attack in the next 2 turns and kill them. That doesn't have flying, so they can't deal with that. Completion, okay. But this still does count as a samurai on the field, so it's still going to pump up with the Asari Captain abilities, so they're still in some big trouble here. Enchantment-based removal, not exactly the best in dealing with these Samurai Warrior type decks. And I'm going to get the Selfless Samurai, play it out this turn. No, we're not going to block here. We're just going to have to hope that we draw into something that maybe some removal. Get rid of one of their creatures. An Exemplar is okay too. What do we want to attack in with? We don't have Trample, which is unfortunate. Otherwise we'd just kill them here. I could attack in with the Subduer and then tap down Lion Sash, and then they have to jump block and they can't really do much else. I think I'm going to do that. Let's just get our Samurais on the field. There is Farewell, the board sweeper, for like, what, 6 mana I think it is in white. And that would kill all of our stuff, but it would also kill all of their stuff, as far as I'm understanding. It'd kill a lot of their stuff to get rid of a lot of our stuff, so... yeah, let's just get in there. And then we'll tap down Lion Sash here. So they can chump block with the Selfless Samurai here if they really want to. And then they sacrifice it if they want. And then next turn we can maybe start attacking with everything. When this dies, or leaves the battlefield, draw a card, okay. So if it dies, they can draw a card with it, basically. They can also use it to... I think that they can technically use a creature with Summoning Sickness to crew a vehicle, but... they're gonna get the Selfless Samurai back again, I imagine. Keep doing the song and dance. We could just kill this thing. They have a card in their hand. I'm not sure what that card is. Do we kill it? I mean, we have ways to give trample. I think that we just let them attack in here again. We have to draw something that can help us deal with this sort of regenerating synergy here where they keep on getting the Selfless Samurai back. We need to draw removal. We need to draw one of the board cards to give a creature trample here. Another Skyblessed Samurai is also another way to do it. I think we attack in first and then we play the Samurai. Maybe they might try and trade with something. They probably just chump block with their decoy because we don't have Menace out there anymore with the Peerless Samurai. But if we don't tap down the Lion Sash, then they can kill the Imperial Subduer. It would only have 4 toughness. Yeah, let's just go ahead and attack in here. I think this time we just attack in with everything. I think we have to get in there before they can do much of anything, and they can only block a couple of creatures. So let's just get in there. Force them to do something here. And then we can play out the Skyblessed Samurai and go over the top and win, hopefully, next few turns. They can save the Lion Sash if they want to, with their Selfless Samurai again. Probably what I would do. Okay. I'm okay with this. I just want to fly over the top anyway. Skyblessed Samurai hopefully flies over the top here. Disdainful Stroke will get us here if they have it. Or Disruption Protocol, that's another one. Okay. So they did have the counterspell in hand. They were just waiting for the right time to use it. So that's both of our Skyblessed Samurais. Now we just need a way to give trample. That's probably our only chance back into the game here. They might also be able to kill us this turn if they have enough mana. That's 9 damage. Yep, I think they're going to kill us this turn. Well, that's unfortunate. We have a good deck and we had a chance there to go in and win the game, but they had what they needed with the counterspell, so that's the way it goes sometimes against control decks that we've gone up against the first few matches. So countered some of the key stuff they were playing, and then had what they needed at the right time, at the pivotal moment. So, alright, let's go ahead and get in there for Game 3 then. There's, you know, no rest for the Magic player. We got to get in there and just kind of have a short memory and look forward to the next game here. Alright, the time of short memory is over. Our next opponent is Faber. Faber Saber. Samurai Sabers. Okay. Enough of my terrible joking. This is not a good hand. We have no red. We have no turn 1 or turn 2 plays. We just have an equipment. And we're not even going to be able to equip it on turn 3 if we draw a land. So we're going to have to mull this and have something that's a bit faster. Well, this is going to have to do. It's not a great hand, but we have some removal to buy us time. Hopefully we can draw into something. It sucks when we're on the play and we don't have any turn 1 or turn 2 samurais in our opening hand, but this is probably going to have to be a hand that we keep. Mulling the 5 would be very, very bad in this deck, so let's just do this. This time around, I do want to play out my red mana in case there's a 1-drop that I just absolutely want to get rid of. And that's probably, well, I don't know. I think I'm going to just let that go. I'm just going to have to let that one go, and here we go. Okay, so let's discard a land, since we need something that we can actually play with our lands first. Alright, well that's something that we can play, so let's just get that out there and hope for the best here. I can't attack in with it next turn if they don't have a creature to play, because I can use removal on a third creature. But they have the removal that they needed, so lethal exploit. Another modified creature type synergy. Alright, so let's play out Era of Enlightenment here. First time we've seen that one. And yeah, 4th land would mean that we can ramp into the Asari Captain next turn, or after we play the Peerless Samurai, I mean. So we'll just rearrange the order here. We want the Peerless Samurai next turn. They're getting in for mosquito bites of damage here, but it is adding up. So we're going to have to be kind of careful here how slow that we play this. Circuit Mender is a great card for artifact red-black sacrifice decks. It's also great for the ninjutsu decks, since you can leave the battlefield when you do the ninjutsu abilities, return it to your hand, and then you can play it out again and just keep on doing that with ninja cards. Alright, so yeah, we don't, like, we could, well, Flame Discharge wouldn't even kill anything here that the Voltage Surge couldn't, so we just have to get this in here to slow them down. So Peerless Samurai can block the Circuit Mender, but we could kill the Virus Beetle and get rid of it. If we kill the Iron Apprentice, then it just gives the +1/+1 counter to the Circuit Mender, and then it can attack in us, or into us, I mean. So, I mean, unless we get an artifact that we can play out, like a Simian Sling, or something like that, or an Ancestral Katana could also do it. Voltage Surge isn't going to be able to kill anything that we need to kill here. Now we have a 2/2 blocker. Let's just go ahead and, yeah, let's attack in here. They can kill it, but I want to get the Asari Captain out here. That's why I wanted to attack in here. I mean, we might as well just kill the Iron Apprentice now. We're going to have to kill it at some point. Give Circuit Mender, I bet, the +1/+1 counter. Nope, they're going to give it to the Undercity Scrounger, okay. Let's play an Asari Captain that can block everything that they have. Okay, so Fall Horde Conda gets the Samurai that we had. Now we don't have a good block, unfortunately. So what do we do? Don't think that attacking is in the plan. It's kind of too slow of a start for us here. Not looking good. Sort of like a white-black sacrifice, maybe artifact type deck. I'm not quite sure. Iron Apprentice is usually good in a sack deck, so it's Virus Beetle and Circuit Mender, so I'm assuming it's a sacrifice type deck that they're playing in white-black. Maybe with some red in there too that they don't have yet. But, play the land. I think we just pass here. Cannot afford to take more damage here, so I have to play kind of... I have to kind of play it slow here and hope that they don't have anything major in their hand. Well, I gotta block something, so let's go ahead and block this. We got our Voltage Surge on that. We're not going to sacrifice. We don't have anything to sacrifice anyway. Let's see if we have something in their hand. I'll draw a card, but I'm going to have to be okay with that. Probably bound to happen eventually anyway, so... And Flame Discharge can get rid of the Scrounger or the Kami of Terrible Secrets here. So it looks like a white-black artifacts plus enchantments type deck, and maybe some sacrifice synergies built in there as well. Because this is an artifact, that's an artifact, 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 modification with the lethal exploit. So yeah, not looking good. I think we just have to Flame Discharge now. And pay for X here. Kill the Kami, auto pay. And then we're just going to go ahead and attack in here. I wasn't going to block with it, so... Could have held the land in my hand to make them think that I have something, but don't know if it's going to make any difference to what they do here, so... Yeah, it's definitely a white-black artifact enchantment type deck. Everything that they have right now is artifacts or enchantments, except for the Kami, but that's a payoff sort of card, so that makes sense. And there's another artifact ninja, so... There's some Jitsu at work. They probably wanted to use that with the Circuit Mender to... Take out the Circuit Mender, draw a card, play the Circuit Mender again, and they do their Virus Beetle, so they have a very good deck going here. Well, I don't know if we have a chance to win or not, but I'm going to try. Let's go and play this out. Yeah, I think that they've got us. This is going to lifelink and get them 3 more life. Well, I guess I can block with the Enlightenment here that has first strike, so that could prevent their life gain at least, but aside from that, no good blocks, honestly, so they're going to get in for at least 4 damage here, I think. Make that 5 damage. Never mind, they win. Oh, when it rains, it pours, and we just had some unfortunate hands. 2 of our opening hands were just a bit unfortunate and too slow. Another one, they had what they needed at the right time. So, 0-3, and that's just the way it goes sometimes, folks. Sorry. Yeah, that kind of sucks, obviously, but, you know, again, the way it goes, it happens. We get nothing out of that. We get a pack, I guess, but it's not really much consolation for going 0-3, so... Alright, well, this is a bit of a shorter video, I guess. I had to get back into things, and not the way I wanted to start it off, but we'll open up a pack here and see what we pull out. I think that maybe the enchantment deck, remembering the draft and the cards, we could have gotten the enchantment deck in green-whites. Maybe might have been a better plan, I guess, overall for what we faced, so... Alright, so there's the Crucible of Defiance that we saw earlier. It's I mean, it's an okay card. It's free for the deck, but you probably wouldn't want to take it over a good card for your own deck already. So this is more of a, if you have discard synergies of Channel, then maybe this card gets a bit better. Or if you have like any creature token synergies or going wide with tokens, this could be okay, but there aren't too many like legendary type creatures that you can rely on getting to make this work in Constructed, or not in Constructed, but in Limited for the draft formats. I would just take the Generous Visitor here and just get the enchantment deck going. It's a very good card to play out in turn 1, and you just keep on pumping up creatures with enchantments and enchantment creatures and sagas and all the good stuff there. Voltage Surge also really great. Great red removal, great in the red-black artifact sacrifice synergy type deck, but great in any red deck. So All in all, that was a decent pack there, but yeah, our deck did not go as planned, obviously. But again, that's the way it goes. You know, you win some, you lose some. You know, it's the way it's that way in sports or anything competitive. You know, Magic the Gathering is competitive, and you know, for someone to win, someone has to lose. So it happens. But I thank everyone for watching, and I hope that everyone enjoyed my return all the same, and enjoyed a bit of a glimpse back to the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty set. So it was a set that I really liked and had lots of cool cards and cool sort of deck ideas and synergies going on. So it's great to sort of revisit it and sort of record and archive it for everyone today. So appreciate everyone watching, and I appreciate everyone's patience for my sort of long absence from the channel, but hope everyone enjoys this return, and hope everyone has a very great weekend, and as always, take care.